Okay, we're live. Yes, we are live. Hey, so it's a first stream after the Oktoberfest. I think we were pretty clear during the Oktoberfest that we would like to do those streams more often. And today it's a good opportunity to do it. As you can see, I'm already sharing my screen. But before I jump into the explanation, let me just double check how the things work on YouTube. So I'm sure that you get a good quality. So uno momento, per favor. Okay, so let me check if in the full screen you can see the code properly. I think I'm gonna have to make it larger. Come on. I don't think it's getting bigger. Or is it? Ah, yeah, it's. Damn it. Forgot about delay. Sorry. So this one is good, and let's make this one bigger. Interesting that the the font got bigger, but the image got smaller. What the? Okay, I can zoom in. Perfecto. Okay, I think it looks pretty good. Ah, yeah, in terminal. Oh. Okay. I think it's still good. Should be good, at least, I think. Okay. It's perfect. Let me just also check the sound if it's good. Okay. So last point, let me on our async API Slack, let me write in the tooling section that I'm live if someone wants to join. Yo guys, I'm doing a live stream now about this issue. If you wanna see it, join on async API channels on YouTube, Twitter, or Twitch. A boom. Okay. It's so good to have a headphones without mic. So when I do this, I don't hit the mic. Okay. So let me first introduce what's the stream for. So the stream is not particularly about the async API spec. It's related to async API. And let me explain to you. So if you don't know yet, so in async API on GitHub, we're using GitHub Actions to automate all the things. And we really automate a lot of things with GitHub Actions. And just recently, we started getting issues with one action. And let me show you the example. Let's check the parser. So we have a GitHub action that is welcoming people, the first time contributors. So whenever you join to the repo for the first time, you create an issue for the first time, or you create a PR for the first time, you get a welcome message. How nice of us. And let me show it to you. That's a draft one. That's an old PR. Ah, parser.js was not a good option. Let's do async API React component. We had some PRs recently here, I think. Ah, no, wait. That's why I choose parser.js, because there was an example. Wait, it's already closed PR. Okay, there's an action that we, as that's a pull request, as you can see, sorry. It got merged, even though we have a red red cross here. And let me show. Yes, okay. And as you can see, the welcome GitHub action failed. And it's failing for at least 2 weeks now for everyone. Even if you are a contributor already, it's gonna fail. And it's failing because, I mean, I don't want to go too much into details now. Maybe it happens just. So the problem about this action is that the owners in the Docker image they provided and runs on the GitHub action. Okay. Un momento, guys, ask me for a link to the stream. Thank you, Antoinette. Hey, man. Thanks for joining. So going back, oh yeah. So the action started failing 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago even, and it was because the owners in the Docker image that they provided, they did not fix the base image to a specific version of Node.js, as far as I remember. And because of this, the action started failing, I think, because of some specific Node version. And the only possible fix was to fix the version and then release a new version of the workflow, which basically means that what we have to do now to solve it for all the repositories, and we have over 30 repositories, we would have to go manually to each repo, to the workflows directory, get the welcome first time contributor file, and basically change this to latest version. And basically we should change to just v1. Why v1? I think it's it's not for the stream, or why not? So the thing about GitHub Actions is that you don't publish them on npm. So basically, what this means is that GitHub Action will download, clone this repository from this organization, from this tag, from this release. And because of this, you don't have this handy notation. I'm not sure what's the name, syntax, that in Node.js, in package.json, you know that you're doing this. You can say that you're fixed, not to specific version, but to major, and you automatically update always the minor and patch. And it's not the thing. It's not possible with GitHub. So what they came up with is a recommendation to always, whenever you release first version of the action and you bump from 100 to 101, at the same time you should always release also tag v1. So if you, for example, then 101 to 103 or 110, then people don't have to edit their workflows again, because your next version that starts with 1, you will also update the tag, the v1 tag, with the latest change. So because we assume that minors and patches don't introduce breaking changes, so people can fix the version they follow to v1, and that this way they don't have to update, especially if you have bug fixes like with the welcome action. Oh, thanks, Dan. Great that you joined. I hope you're gonna stay longer. So I'm gonna just show a message from Dan, and in the meantime, I'm gonna ask my kids to stop jumping from the bed on the floor, because it's pretty loud. At least I can hear it, so you probably can hear it as well. Un momento. Okay, I'm back. No worries, my kids are still alive. So where was I? Okay, so we basically have to fix this tiny string in 30 different repositories. And you can imagine like cloning, creating branch, creating pull request, then taking a review. Like, damn it. That's why the action is still failing for last 3 weeks, because it's not fun to update it. And until yesterday, when I had a brain fart and came up with this issue. So, I mean, I thought about it a while, and it looks like it's possible. So let me introduce you what is the idea and what I want to do. So I basically want to create. Wait, one thing more you should know as well. So, .github repository. I think it's pretty useful knowledge in general. So GitHub has this. I think it's quite secret feature, because I've never heard about it. It was introduced, I think, this year, and it's pretty nifty. So it's like a global repository for your organization. So if, for example, you have you want to have issues templates, and you want to have the same templates across all the repositories. Then instead of creating those templates in every repository, you can create it here in this repo that is called GitHub. You just put issue template, and then those issue templates are populated to all the other repositories. They are not recreated, so they do not exist in the other repos. They're just somehow dynamically included, which is pretty nifty. And it's amazing solution. We use it a lot in Async API now, but it's at this point it does not support global actions. So what I mean by global action, like this workflow, right? This workflow is literally the same. This file is exactly the same in 30 something repositories. So, I mean, each time you create the same file in every repo, you have this feeling like you're doing the same thing all over again. You'd like to do it just once, like with issue templates. So some time ago, wait. So some time ago, I created an issue on GitHub community forum. Yeah, I asked about this global actions, and it was in March this year. I just got an information that I should follow the official process to suggest the someone mentioned that there's some open discussions with information that you need to working on it, but I mean it's March, November, nothing yet happened. So that's why I decided, especially because of this welcome first time contributors, to create this GitHub action called global actions. Good name, right? And I decided to do it because when I started thinking about how we can solve it, I think it's the time spent on the action is similar to the time I would spend to update this welcome contributors file in all those repos. So yeah, that's it. If it comes to the info, it was just 10 minutes long, and I will info from Andres. Let me check. I'll launch YouTube as well and check the sound. Yeah, you're right. I can also do. Let me check the screen. Let's see if it changes something. I'm just gonna change the headphones. Fine. Okay, let's see if it's better. Okay, I think with the new headphones, it's much better. But at the beginning, it was good, right? It just the sound got bad over time, right? Okay. I'm not using OBS. I'm using StreamYard, so I can stream to YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch at the same time. So let me see how I can, if there's any setting in StreamYard. So StreamYard tells me that the broadcast quality is HD, high definition. I don't think I can do much here. Do you think if I increase, it's gonna be better? No, I don't think it's gonna be better. It doesn't look good. Mm-hmm. Do you think it can be a fault of my connection? Maybe that's also why the quality of the sound got that bad. Okay, anyway, I think let me just continue. I think anyway, the most important is not the description of the issue itself, but this diagram I worked on today. Oh, wait. So I can see in the preview that the diagram is pretty good to read. So let me just focus on that first. So the idea here is that we treat .github repository as global for actions as well, especially because it already has the same actions as the other repositories. So the assumption here is that the ultimate goal of this action is that I make a pull request manually to this .github repository to update the action. It goes through usual manual review, peer review with others, and once it's merged, then a workflow is triggered. A workflow that is triggered on push event, because that's once we merge pull request, it's a push to master, and there's an event emitted on GitHub, and because my workflow is registered to be triggered by this event, then my actions started. And then what happens? There will be a configuration. So the action will have, in the action, you will be able to provide a list of workflows that you want to be replicated in different repositories. So for example, this welcome first time contribution YAM file, the path to this YAM file is going to be mentioned in the configuration. If not mentioned, then by default, the action will pick up all the files. And yeah, and then we go further. And we check the configuration provided by users. So we check, and that's what I want to have in the action. So in the action, the user can provide a list of repositories where the action should be populated, replicated. So basically the file should be replicated. So you have a, let's say you have a organization that has 10 repos, but you need those workflows only in 5 repos, then you can specify the names of the repositories as a list in the action. Okay, and then if not provided, then we basically assume that we should replicate the action in all the repos from a given organization. And then we have to, of course, using the GitHub API, get the list of all those repos. And what next? We clone the repos in the action, create new branch, and clone again. Okay, I think I have a small error here in the diagram. Mea culpa. So yeah, clone and create branch, then copy changes picked by the push action into the cloned repos, and then push changes and create a pull request. And user of such a workflow then can decide what's next. I mean, should those PRs be manually reviewed before they are merged? Sure, you can do it. But we don't want to do it for 30 repos. So we, for sure, as users of global actions support, we will have another step in the workflow that is automatically, no, wait, it's not going to be in the workflow. Then in our case, let me show it to you. We will merge the PR automatically because we have a workflow that is auto-approving and auto-merging every PR that comes from Async API bot. And that's the bot that we're going to use to create those PRs. So yeah, that's the intro. What's the proposed solution? And now it's time to do some coding. So I already have project created, have some code already. It's mostly copy from my previous actions. Okay. Yeah. So we have so how the GitHub action looks like, you you need to have basically a start function that you run immediately once the action is triggered, and you need to have a certain configurations. Like I said, for example, this action will have to support a list of repos, for example, where the action has to be replicated. So these details from the workflow you pick up in your code using a core library, official GitHub Actions core library. So you have a special API where you can just grab the input from the workflow. So for example, we're gonna need a GitHub token, of course, because we're gonna create pull requests. And it's gonna be required. Input. Now I'm thinking if it has to be required, because every action is powered by is powered by this GitHub token for GitHub Actions user that has a lot of privileges. But I'm not sure if it has privileges. It should have privileges to create pull requests. It's pretty privileged. Privileged user. Huh. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to check it. Is this GitHub? Seriously, I don't remember. GitHub token. Let's see what privileges it has. Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah. So that's why I have it this way. I had it this way in my previous actions. So what's gonna happen here is that it should be reversed. So it should be reversed. So first we pick up the first we try to pick up the token from the user configuration, but if it's not provided, we're gonna pick it up then from the process environment variable. Okay. So first thing we need to do is to where we check what files were modified. So we need octokit. Octokit is a let's say differently. So it's another official library, GitHub, for GitHub Actions. Let me go to the docs. Come on. Okay, so it's a library that gives us a client to talk to the GitHub API. So as you can see, that's how we instantiate the client. So the GitHub token is just passed to the GitHub library, and then we can talk to the API. But first, we need to know. I don't want to use REST API. I'm pretty in love with GitHub GraphQL API. So let's first let's open the not this. Let me open it here. It's called GitHub GraphQL Explorer. Yeah. So GitHub exposes this nifty explorer for GraphQL API, to which you can authenticate with your account, and then basically play with the API, call it, and get results. So that's ready. Okay. So now, how do we know? How can we check if? Our assumption is that for now, user cannot specify what actions were modified. Okay. What workflows got modified. So the assumption is that any workflow will be taken by the action, because at the end, those workflows have to be in a specific location in the repository. It's .github/workflows. So let's just make it easier. And now we can access in the action, we can access we have access to the event that triggered the action. Let me show you how it works. So in the parser.js, I can show you an example how we access the content of the event, of the commit event inside the workflow. Okay, so you can see that inside the workflow even, you have access to the event that triggered your action, and you can access its data. So I already researched a bit. So the commit that's a commit. Is there a push? Okay, so the commit has not only information about the, like for example here, right? You have a commit author name, but the cool stuff is that you also get any information about the files that were changed, which is pretty nifty, right? So this way we can read the content of the event, and we can see if the file name, I'm pretty slow thinker. If the file name is includes the .github/workflow directory. Best would be, I think, I'm now thinking in what action I was recently reading the event data. Not in sentiments analysis. Okay, let's check simply the package. Or package probably has the API to do it. Yeah, sure, Dan. Sorry, I didn't notice your question. Let me go back to the community. Not here. Here, sorry for jumping around. GitHub. GitHub community. I don't remember the link, so I know, but I know I had it in my question. Yeah. Is it this one? Yeah, that's the instruction. So I'm pasting the link. Okay, so that's the link to the official docs. And yeah, asynapi.github. You're gonna find it easier than me, I guess. So let's go back. The core package. So I can, not with the core. You know what? Sentiment. Let's, because I'm pretty sure I was already doing it in some action. Let me just check my other actions. Okay. You see? So yeah, the like in GitHub Actions. Let me make it bigger. So in GitHub Actions, you have access to many different environment variables. Let me show it to you. And one of them is the path to the file with contents of the event, which is pretty nifty. And the other one is, for example, the GitHub repository is the name of the repo. You have even information about the actor. So that's all these things are part of the environment variables, which is pretty nifty. So yeah, let me, so we don't lose time, let's do copy paste. So that's how we're gonna get access to the payload of the push event. And I don't remember how I was. what magic I wrote here. Okay, because in case of this action, I just had to process the event because there could be different payload. But yeah, anyway, it's already as simple as that. But for now, let's make it. Let's assume, I mean, not assume, different word. I like docs that they tell me what's the structure, that there's files and there are, additional, the list of files that were changed, but I'd like to really see it in action. So we do I think it's this way. It should be this. Now let's assume I'm pretty sure it's not this, exactly this, because that's the payload for one action, for one commit. And you can imagine that push event, I mean, you can merge without squashing. So we have many different commits. So it's a list of commits. So let's just create something that's going to be useful later once we console log the real event. Let's not test. Fake event JSON. And let me grab it. I don't think it's gonna work. Why not try? But it's not this location, this, right? And do I have some start command already? Yeah. Of course, it doesn't work. What? Of course. Come on. Seriously. What now? What's next? Can't find module. Okay. I created it inside Leap. Jesus. Seriously, dude. Okay, another error. But it's good. Input required or not supplied. Gap token. Of course, it should not be required, dude. Yes, we have it. Okay. So that's so we're gonna quickly use this action in my test organization. And first things, we will console log the real event that triggered the action, so we see exactly how it looks like. Okay. Okie dokie. So a bit of manual clicking in the UI. So I have my fake organization where I have a .github repo. So let's go and create a file. Of course, I want to do copy paste. So let's copy. Workflow or workflows? Workflows. And the content, of course. Okie dokie. Pom pom. Okay, so I have an action that I will later edit, but now I also need an action that will actually be triggered on a event. So let's add another file. Wait, there's this. I think they have this nice nifty. Yeah, of course you had to fail. They have this nifty. Yeah. So when you create new file in the UI. It's if you would create workflow through the regular UI, it's like any other file. But if you create a workflow from the Actions tab, see, you have a customized UI with some suggestions that you can just use, or you can just manual workflow. No, how I just want to set up workflow yourself. Okay, so global action. That's gonna be the name. Not actually action, it's workflow. So it's a global workflow to rule all workflows. And it's gonna be triggered on push to master branch. I don't want those comments. Now, of course, I have to remove this. I don't. Remove all those comments. Come on. Faster if I would copy it from somewhere else. And now uses. And uses what? I mean, how can I test a workflow, a action that is not yet completed, it's not released, and it's not published on Actions Marketplace? So that's how you do it. First of all, of course, I have to commit my changes to my initial changes to the workflow. Okay, that's done. So in the experiment, I can show you how I'm doing it. So basically, when you point to the action, instead of the version, you can point also to a commit, which is pretty nifty. So let's go to global action support repo. I just pushed my commit. And let's grab it. I think it should work. Let's do it. So I committed the change and it was to master, so automatically the action should be triggered. Global workflow. It's building. And let's see what we're gonna get. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Let me just check if, first of all, something you should know about actions is that one of the recommended ways is that, I mean, you don't have, you either commit your node modules to repo, but I don't want this. So I'm creating a dist. There's a package recommended by GitHub that is doing it. It's NCC. And let me just confirm that I already have all the pre-commit hooks to update dist, but I think I have. Was dist? Okay. So dist was updated. So it's really about the authentication. I'd like to use this. I don't think it's the way I can access GitHub token. I actually never used this default one in my actions. Where are those docs? Okay. Okay, so it's not available as environment variable. Then how is it? How is it working? I don't remember that. So it's a secret. Of course. Of course, it's a secret. Secrets GitHub token. But how can I access it inside my code? Remember, GitHub action access secrets in code. Oh. Make a secret available to you. Actually, you must set a secret as an input. Okay. No. 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 access GitHub token. I always, at the end, I always look on the code of other actions, then read the docs. Not sure if it talks good about the docs, but maybe it's just something wrong with me. So let's GitHub pull request action. So pull request action supports you to, so you can provide. Oh, okay. Now I remember. So you anyway always have to provide it. That's the thing. You have to explicitly provide it. Now I remember. My mind just had another brain fart, which is good at this hour. So you basically need to do with, excuse me, GitHub token. That's how I called the input parameter. GitHub token. Not this way, of course. It's secret something. Don't remember again. Secrets. This is how I access it. Buongiorno. Okay, but first let's also update the action. So what am I doing here? I'm checking the, so it was good at the beginning. Damn it. So I either grab it from process environment variables for local testing, right? So I have a variable already exported here that holds my token, like my custom token. And when I locally start my my action, I want to use the locally exported token. And in the action, what's happening? Nothing here. So it's just gonna pick it up from here, and that's why it was required. That's why, dude. Now it's all starting to work properly in my head. Yes. So it is required parameter. If you do not provide it, then the action will automatically fail with proper information. You did not provide the input parameter. And this input parameter is always has to be described in action YAML, which is here, and it's marked as required true. Okay, let me push it. And let me show you something. Like, call me lame or not. It's up to you. But I love GitHub Desktop. I don't use Git in terminal almost never. I mean, I use it to switch between branches quickly, synchronize maybe with remote between my fork and with the upstream. But commits, fuck, I love it. I really like it a lot. So I see the change. Fix something token. So no, you don't have to use terminal with Git to be a developer. Okay, so that's it. Let's get the commit. Let's update the workflow. And hold your fingers. Not hold your fingers, cross your fingers. Hold your fingers. So it works. What? Oh, okay. It worked. It worked. Which makes me happy. So let's just copy it. I mean, those payloads, they are beasts. So huge. Is this all? Okay, that's it. Copy. And let's use in our fake event. It's gonna be just easier to test when we have it here. Then we can use it for tests when we write tests, if I will write them. Okay, so we get, like I said, it's a different event. So it's not one commit, it's a list of commits. And there's no file. Change information. Let's just, it's too huge to review manually. Okay. Okay, it makes sense. It makes sense. What I mean by saying it makes sense. So the thing is that, I mean, including all those different commits in this event, that would be crazy. That would be super crazy. So instead, they just provide the ID of the commit. So we have to manually get it. Get more details, I mean, from the API. So let's try it. So we already know Wait. Let me make some cleanup here. How does it? Const. Too many screens. Commits. That's stupid. Commit ID. And let's now assume that there's always one commit to not complicate code too much at the beginning. So it's going to be event payload.com. Commits. Let's take the first element from array. And was it ID? Commits ID. Okay. We're grabbing it. My wife is curious how long I want to do the stream. She loves me. What can I do? So we know the idea of the commit. So now let's go to the GraphQL Explorer and let's see how the query for a commit will look like. So GraphQL gives you this nice view of docs generated. Commit. There's a query called commit. What? Wait, let's back. Query. Do I really have to? Seriously, I have to query the... repo. And then what? Commit? No. Come on. Let's check again. Okay, so I have a commit schema. Again. Wait, how was it? It's gonna be maybe easier to find if I... So with REST API, it's under repo, owner repo, account. Okay. And it's analogic here. Okay, repository. Name. So GitHub. Owner. Lab. That was the name of my repo. Workers Lab, yeah. Let's first check if it works. Okay. Come. Okay. Have type. How did it work? I don't remember. Those nodes are Jesus. Let me check. In generator, I was using this GraphQL API. No, so it's nodes. Wait. Okay, I give up. Don't have time for it. well. Oh, even further. Don't kill me. Again, something is not available on GraphQL. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. Because it's not supported by the GraphQL API. So let's go to Async API. Actions, GitHub. And let's see how to use GraphQL here. The REST API here. So it's going to be commits get. Is it that simple? Don't remember. Okay, that's how you talk to Git, and it's gonna be commits. And it's gonna be Pamparam. Lab. ID. Is there some API docs? Yeah. No, I don't think it's API of the library. Okay, let's just fire it. Of course not. How can I find out what's the... Jesus. Packages. GitHub. Ah. I forgot it's not directly available. The docs say it's repos. Okay, so I have to do repo. Repos. It went through without errors, but now I don't believe it works. Oh, I guessed right, so it's commit ID. It's commit ID. And no, it's not commit ID. Dude, it's the repo. Is this how I do it? Of course, that would be crazy. This package is mystery. Yeah, thanks for the easiest example. Okay, those docs really suck. Let's try with API docs again. Repos with repos. What? Okay. Repos get commit and F. Come on, make it work. I want to finish for today, but not if it doesn't work. Yes. So I get an array of files. I got exact information about the file name. And contents URL. What is it? What do I have there? Content of the file? Ah, okay. 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 So I can not only get access to the file content, not sure yet if I need it, but yeah. And even what changes were done. A diff, nice. Okay, so for today, let's finish with this one. So what we have looking at the diagram, not much, I think. So we're still at first box. But we have a setup of the project and testing environment, which is good. So we can access the event data, and we know how to access the list of files that were changed. So we're pretty much done with the first box. And I'm super tired. It's 7 o'clock here, 7 p.m. So whoever is still watching, and if you do, congrats. I'm tired. Let's finish for today, and I'm gonna continue. I'm gonna continue work tomorrow. I don't want to schedule any specific time, but I'm sure I'm gonna do it in the morning, around 9, 9, 10, like between 9 and 10. I guess it's gonna be 9:30 a.m. And I'm in time zone, in Warsaw time zone in Poland, which is UTC +1. So it's 8:30 UTC. Yeah, at the moment it's UTC +1. So if you want to continue with me on the GitHub action, yeah, join me tomorrow, and thanks for being with me today. Arrivederci.